Hi guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Chancer, the fantasy football show we bring you each and every week here on the Upper Tier podcast. It's Thursday evening, I'm recording this. I'm just after watching Niall and Darren have a great show there. The guys are live every single Monday and Thursday with two great live shows where you can be interacting with them in the chat and having a bit of banter, having a bit of crack, nice and laid back. Previews, reviews, they've got it all. So check the boys out live every single Monday and Thursday. So, made a couple of changes this week, and the two big ones I went for is I took Mo Salah out of my team, which I never thought at the start of the season that I would do. So I've took Mo Salah out and I've took Ben White out. So this week I've made two changes, and we're going to go into the team now and see who I replaced them with. So in goal, I'm going with Sanchez this week. I fancy Brighton to possibly keep a clean sheet against Brentford. So definite possibility there, I think, for a clean sheet. So I went with Sanchez in goal. The man who I replaced Ben White with was Cancelo, who's been absolutely smashing it up for Man City this season, and he's the highest scoring defender by a country mile. And the man alongside him that I'm sticking with is William Saliba, who's also one of the high scoring defenders in the league. Next to him, I went for Malaysia, and I'm hoping he plays now because his game time is somewhat questionable at the moment, with the Luke Shaw on there as well. So I'm hoping he does play. He's cheap, and I quite fancy Manchester United to get like at least a 1-0 against Newcastle. I think Newcastle's form is going to be good at home this season, but I can't see them being good travellers, especially against the top six. So that's what I'm going for. In defence. Now, in the middle of the park, I have went for Raheem Sterling. Aston Villa, you'd have to fancy Chelsea. Graham Potter off to a great start there with Chelsea, it has to be said. Pascal Gross, Brentford away. Quite fancy Brighton. Brighton seem to have continued with that kind of Graham Potter shape with the new manager. So it's going to take a few weeks, I'd imagine, for him to bed in exactly what he wants. But as he said himself, he's going to add sprinkles to the team, basically, and not upset what Graham Potter has created there, which probably the fans will be very happy about as well. Andres Pereira for Fulham popped up with a couple of points there last week. Expecting more from him this season, so hopefully in this game he can deliver. I think Fulham will win this game comfortably with Bournemouth. I don't think they're going to be good travellers either in the league this season. I think they're going to have to rely on their home form if they want to stay up, which is kind of not looking so likely at the moment. And the man who I've replaced Mo Salah with is on high form at the moment, Bukayo Saka. So I've put him into my team. I had to sacrifice Ben White as part of that because obviously you can only have 3 Arsenal players. So that's what I've gone with this week. And then up the top of the pitch, Harry Kane. I went for Everton at home. Everton on a little bit of an upward trajectory at the moment under Frank Lampard. A couple of good results and playing some good football as well, in fairness to them. So it's going to be a tricky game for Tottenham, but I'd expect Tottenham at home to win. And who scores when Tottenham win at home? 9 times out of 10, that man Harry Kane. I know he missed a penalty last night. I don't think that's going to play too much on his mind because Spurs still got the results. So I would fancy Kane to score. And then it was a toss-up in captaincy then between Kane, Jesus and Haaland, which I have done all season. I actually do not fancy Man City as much as everyone else does against Liverpool. People are writing Liverpool off. This is the same Liverpool that have won countless trophies under Jurgen Klopp, and I expect them. I know they had a good victory over Rangers 7-1 the other night. That didn't really take too much out of the tank, I don't think, considering the majority of the work was done in the second half as well. I expect Liverpool to be high on confidence. I expect Man City to have a very, very tough game, and I expect the Liverpool win. So that's why I'm going this week with Jesus as my captain. I think he's due a goal or two. Leeds play a very open play. We can probably expect goals at both ends in this match, and that's why I went with Jesus as my captain. Somewhat questionable questions over his fitness. He didn't travel with Arsenal, but that could be a precautionary measure as well. And then on the bench, I have Henderson, Wolves away. That was a tricky one as well because Wolves don't score a lot of goals. So between Dean Henderson and Sanchez, I had a kind of decision to make. So the same with Nico Williams. I've put him on the bench as well. And then I have Reed there. doesn't really feature in my team, just a cheap player. And Nathan Collins, I would have had in my team had he not been suspended, because I expect Nottingham Forest and Wolves to be quite a low-scoring game, and I expect Wolves may sneak it or it could be a draw. So looking forward to having Nathan Collins to select from next week back in my team. So that is what I am going for this week. Quick look at the league tables. The upper tier. I've actually went down 4 places, and this is the Fantasy Chancellor. I don't claim to be a maestro in fantasy football. So Mark Hogan, number 1 at the moment, 614 points, which is a fantastic tally considering the amount of games we've had so far. Followed only by 1 point, a good friend of mine, Kevin Mullally, behind him. And then the man, the head of the table there on 608 points, Niall Hogan, doing an absolute stormer as well this season. So fair play to Niall. So we scroll down a little bit and we'll see that I am in 21st, I believe. So I'm 522. So I'm way off the top. Way off the top. Nearly 100 points. So I'm going to need a few good weeks. I know everyone's probably going to go with Haaland as the captain. Why wouldn't you? They're in form. And they're playing Liverpool, who haven't been in the best form. But I just get that feeling that Liverpool might do it this week. So that's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to hang my hat on Gabriel Jesus and Arsenal, one of the informed teams, playing a very open Leeds United side. And that's what I'm going to do this week. So just before I go, check out the upper tier. Subscribe, like, turn on the bell notification. That's very important. And we will see you next week. I'll hopefully have a guest next week, because I haven't had a guest now in a while. I'm kind of been doing these videos late at night when the kids are asleep and Rachel's in work. So hopefully next week might get on a guest and we'll have a bit of crack. Cheers, guys.